Right. Welcome everyone. It's Monday, 8 p.m. and you are watching The Late Smoke with me, Ray. It's episode 11. So as usual, we're gonna wait a few more minutes, some other people to join. In the meantime, I will tell you what I'm smoking. So my choice tonight is a cigar which I smoke for the first time. This is a Tatuaje, part of the Monster series, and this is Frank the Redux from last year. So far so good. I started smoking about 40 minutes ago. I'm already down 2 inches from the cigar. I mean, I started because it's quite a big cigar. I don't think I'm going to have time to finish the whole cigar during the live, so that's why I start in advance. So the cigar is Tatuaje, made in Nicaragua by my father factory, and size-wise, this is a double Corona, almost 8 inches, 7 5/8 by 49, box press, soft box press. The blend in the cigar, it's Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, Nicaraguan filler, Nicaraguan binder. So far, so good. Was a really nice construction, even for a box press. Usually, my opinion, I don't think the box press cigars keep the ash long. On this one, literally the ash just dropped. So it was a good 2 inches. I was very worried that the ash might drop all over me, but it dropped in the ashtray. And so far been such a good smoke. A little bit milder for a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper cigar. Even the wrapper doesn't look that dark. I mean, I've seen some Connecticut broadleafs which are really, really dark. This one is a slightly lighter color. So the information I have about the cigar, because this is, I don't know if you guys know the story behind the Monster series. P. Johnson, back in the 2006-7, wants to create some little bit different line, and he was wondering between lines, names, anything. So he came up with the idea with the Monsters, where he will include monsters or villains from horror movies, and he will say he will include some old school, some OGs, and also some of the new ones. The original plan was to rotate them, 1 year the old one, 1 year new one, 1 year old one, 1 year new one. But in some moment there were 2 old ones, there were 2 new ones, so etc. etc. Frank is named after Frankenstein, and this is the first release, 2008. Every cigar have a different shape, different vitola, as much as you can get close to the original characters. Frankenstein is tall and slim. I mean, most of the people who watch Frankenstein the movie, they will probably associate that with him. The Redux being released last year. As far as I know, it's almost the same blend, if not the same blend. Just obviously different yields, different crops. I mean, the first release was already 14 years ago when this was released. Sorry, I was just reading the comments. Someone say, "Can we see the video YouTube at 7:30?" Yeah, I mean, I can try to do it, earlier. I just literally in the last moment set up everything and put the stream. That's why you couldn't see it before, like literally 2 minutes before that. But I will next time. I'm gonna take a note and I'm gonna put the video maybe day before that. Hopefully, if I have time. But yeah, noted, and thanks for the recommendation. So this is about the cigar. I don't know if any of you guys, smoking it tonight. If you, I mean, weather is not that bad. It's been really, really bad in the last few days, but today is the wind is calm. A little bit rainy around me. Temperature is probably around 6, 7 degrees, which is not that bad. So yeah, if any of you smoking, just drop me a message. What are you smoking? I'm as usual. I'm on a cup of tea. This time is another Japanese tea, which I'm a big fan of the Japanese and Chinese green tea. So this is what we got. Rubio DTT Overseas. Is that the German edition? I think I saw this cigar yesterday or today. Someone showed it to me. I never knew this one exists. Honestly, even if I'm quite a big Dumbarton fan, even I can show you. I got this guy here. It's literally next to me, and I got his brother as well. So I got two of those. You can see how big fan I am of Dumbarton. But yeah, I didn't know about this cigar, so I saw it recently, and so let me know how is it, because I have no information about this cigar. I hope it's the same one. Again, I keep talking about the overseas, but I hope it's the same one. Yeah, I like the nickname. Haha nah, haha nah. So yeah, don't worry. I'm just joking. But I at the beginning when I was start doing the lives, I was putting the stream out there, but a few times there was a problems with the stream, so I ended the stream before I actually started. I deleted and then create a new one, and that create more complications with some of the people which were already waiting on the first stream. But I think now I already have like what 10, 11 episodes, so I think I know what I'm doing, and I will try to add the stream for next week earlier. So, how is your week, guys? Anything interesting? Anything fancy? Anything exceptional as a smoke? Any rubbish you smoke? Let me know. In the meantime, we're gonna start with the news section as usual. You know me, I like to talk about what's happening in the past week, what's interesting, what we're discussing. I'm gonna keep looking at my screen because I don't have another place where you can look and see the comments, and also what you guys text me. So first part of the news section tonight will be something regarding Luciano cigars. So Luciano and its current distribution, ATL Cigar Company, and the distribution agreement. Why I decided to talk about that one? Luciano, he's a little bit weird guy. I met him a few times. I did an interview with him. I like what cigars he's doing. He's a very knowledgeable, especially technically person. He's actually he have a part in my video about plum and mold. He also explained very interesting his point of view. But he's a little bit odd person to work with, I believe. I spoke with few people which work closely with him, and they all express a little bit of concerns about his way to doing stuff. Maybe he pushing too much. He's a little bit challenging. 2 years ago, when they announced they're gonna start work with ATL, he literally left. Split with Crown Heads. Used to be together with Crown Heads. I still don't know what's the real reason behind the split. I don't think Luciano will explain me. Maybe John Uber, if I manage to meet him, I'll ask him. I hope he will explain me, maybe face to face, and I can guys throw you the info as usual. But when they announced the new distribution, it was a interesting project, etc. And now they decide to split. Obviously, they probably in a better relations than Crown Heads and Luciano. Luciano will still continue making cigars for ATL, but I don't think this will last long as well. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna completely separate. This is really good cigar. Okay, someone's lighting Cavalier Lancero Black too. Okay, that's a good cigar. To be honest, I usually, me people know my palate. I like a little bit stronger. The stronger, the better cigars. But from Cavalier, the white and the black, I prefer the white one, especially in the Lancero. It's a slim, nice, elegant cigar. I think it's more tasty than the black. The black is punchy, but not that interesting and changing flavors all the time. It might be wrong. Again, I smoke maybe 2 or 3 of the black. I smoke way more from the white. So, but definitely Cavalier is one of the brands which is really really nice. Sebastian de Coupe from Cavalier was actually in UK last week. He did tour in London, a few other shops. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to see him this time, but probably will catch him in some point next few months. So, yeah, go back on the news section. So it's this was my point about Luciano. It's a little bit not an easy guy to work with, I guess, but I guess if he expects certain stuff and doesn't happen, we'll see. Is any of you guys smoked any Luciano? Have you smoked any of these cigars? I've tried probably most of his stuff. I like the Fiat Lux. Fiat Lux is probably one of the best cigars he made. He did a cigar called Maria Lucia, which I'm a very on a dilemma. I smoked a bunch of them, which was exceptional good, and I smoked a few which they wasn't that good. There was construction wasn't nice. They were burning wonky. So yeah, he also is into the wine, and he have a cigar which is been made to be smoked with the wine. Trying to remember. Yeah, the name was Massineus. The wine is called Massineus. But yeah. Oh, Dexter's smoking something really nice. Romacraft Cro-Magnon EMH, the original blend. I don't know if they're different blends. You mean the Cro-Magnon from the old blends? If that's the thing, because I didn't know they start separating now the original and non-original. But yeah. Okay, that's something new. Rubio says they are available in Bulgaria, but I presume you're talking about Luciano. Yeah, Dreamer is a good blend as well. Forgot about it. Dreamer, I might still have few Lanceros from the Dreamer. That was the first Luciano I smoked was the Dreamer, then the Fiat Lux. I like them both, but I don't know, Rubio, how expensive are those in Bulgaria, but if they're not crazy expensive, I would recommend them. Get them, smoke them. Decent smokes. You won't regret it. And with this note, I'm gonna move slight direction into the different news, but completely different story. I mentioned something last week, and this will be continuous news this week. So this is the bill where the U.S. Market and the U.S. Congress targeting all the stolen Cuban trademarks. So the update now is actually the current President Biden. He signed the bill and make that as a law. So now, if someone wants to bring, let me rephrase that one. So the current situation in US before this bill was proposed, basically, if a country produce, I mean, they don't target specifically, they didn't discuss specifically tobacco, but if a country produce a product, the country confiscate the product from the family, like dictators or nationalized or whatever you can call it, then the US, if someone in US decide to create a product with the same name, they were lawfully able to use it. And like the biggest example is all those Cuban cigar brands, which we have the same brand names in US, obviously with cigars made in DR, Nicaragua, Honduras, etc., etc. So far, the government allow people to use the name because they've been confiscated unlawful, against the law in those communist countries. Now the new bill says basically you cannot do that. You're not allowed to touch any brands which been confiscated. Again, in the bill, they didn't say, oh, this one is for tobacco only, etc. Cigars, no. But obviously, we all know who will be more impacted from this. This will be probably cigars. I don't know many other products where people will start similar named products from different country. Maybe Bacardi will be another option, but I don't know. I don't think Bacardi is still making anything in Cuba, so I don't think anything Bacardi exists in Cuba. They're all in Puerto Rico, which I think is the headquarters now. They have distillery in many other places, but I think the headquarters is Puerto Rico. I might be wrong. Obviously, there's no information on the current situation. So with all the brands which already exist, and some of those existing since 1970s, I don't think they will change the names, or they're gonna make them change the names. Probably they will carry on, but no one else will be around, will be allowed to use some of those brands, which Cuba used to have back in the time, and still have, of course. I think that was the update on this current news. Um, when I read about the news, and when was I already asked a few people about this one. Some of those actually mention about China. So this probably will be a little bit left on the side from the cigars. That's why I don't want to jump in heavily. But there's a lot of stuff where China producing, and I think the Americans use the patent and the names and everything. I don't know how that will be, to be honest. I don't want to jump into the non-cigar related stuff. It's too much politics there. So yeah, so we're gonna stick to the cigars as I mentioned, Bacardi, Havana Club. Those are the other affected products. But yeah, lots of people are not happy, to be honest, in the social media from the whole this situation, because obviously none of those people like the Cuban government. And for them, it's not right, the US brands to not be able to use any of those nationalized Cuban brands, but everyone on its own. For me, as a side side person, someone not involved in the American politics and everything, I think everyone should respect the name someone else chosen, even if whoever do the copycat selling more, making more famous. If someone already registered the brand in whatever country, I think everyone else who try to copy it should respect that one. Obviously, the discussion is Cuban dictatorship, should we respect that one or anything? Well, some of those brands are not actually started from the Cuban dictatorship. They started from other people way before the Cuban Revolution, and not respecting it, the name, the brand. I mean, it can give you lots of examples: Romeo, Julieta, Monte Cristo, A. Chapman, all those brands. If you don't respect it and you decide, oh, I'm going to start a brand called Monte Cristo, you actually disrespect the family who created the brand, or the person, in my opinion. It doesn't matter who owns the brand now. In some moment, there's probably people which are still related to those families, and not be able to respect those and just create something new. I don't know. It doesn't seem right. Even if I know there's a specific example with Partagas and the family who owned Partagas before the revolution, Cifuentes family. I know the person who is now like a grandson or something, or the people behind the creating the brand. He restarted the brand in the States with that name Cifuentes. I think he released few cigars already. He obviously can't get the name Partagas, but he was able to use the other name. Um, I still don't think this is right. Even if his grandparents or grandparents create the brand, they start everything. Obviously, it wasn't in his hands. It was confiscated. But I mean, that's the reality. I think it's getting too political. Let me have a sip of tea, and we're gonna move on from this little bit political topic with something more interesting, more fun, and more was a good news. And this is the Cigar Family Academy. Cigar Family opening an Academy of Arts in the DR. So the Cigar Charitable Foundation Family. This is a organization by Fuente and JC Newman together. Those two brands have this foundation where they actually raise quite a lot of money every year with different initiatives, some samples, some cigars exclusively made for those organizations. And they help lots of people in DR creating different communities, different. And I know they create a few schools. Now they have an academy for arts where lots of students can go there. And I think this is a really positive news, especially in the countries like DR and Nicaragua, where people try to leave the country, go to the better life in the US. I know there's specifically in DR, lots of brands start investing in the country. I mentioned a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, La Flor Dominicana are planning to open a school for tobacco people. What I mean, school for blenders, rollers, boncheros, all the people who work in a tobacco factory, in a cigar factory. They will be able to have like a school and then educations, possibly degree, and probably will be much easier for them to find a job even in different countries. Even I mean, it could be if you have a degree in I don't know, cigar rolling. I know it's a skill, but still maybe having degree will open more doors for some of those people. So that kind of initiatives, I'm very open-minded. I welcome them lots. So yeah, it's a really good news. Right. Moving on. Something. Next topic. We also mentioned something about this last week, and this is more serious update now. The European Union recommends expanded smoking bans, and now they actually confirm all those ideas they have. As I mentioned last time, they want to ban smoking around kids, mainly smoking on open spaces, smoking in the shops, smoking in different places. They're planning even to ban smoking in the cars. I'm very happy to go with that one, but I think this will be only the first step. They're not gonna stop there. Even if they say, "Oh, we do all for the health and safety of the kids," I don't think. I think once they ban certain stuff, they will continue banning stuff. In some moment, they will try to ban the smoking at all. Um, Last week they vote for that, all the European Union countries. I think only two countries didn't submit votes. That was Greece and Germany. I mean, we know Germany is one of the biggest cigar smokers and tobacco consumers, same as Greece. Greece doesn't smoke that much cigars, but I think they consume lots of cigarettes. Also, the this ban is to basically unify the vape and the electronic cigarettes to be the same rules as any other tobacco products. Because some countries now allow people to smoke electronic cigarettes indoors because they don't class them as a cigars or cigarettes. Which I think is very wrong. I mean, they should be classed as cigars and cigarettes. I know it's electronic, it's a little bit different, but still creating this pollution, if you want to call it. Because the problem, in my opinion, why the government wants to ban those type of smoking on the public places is other people which are on the side to not get to inhale the smell, the smoke of the cigarettes or cigars, which I understand, especially with cigarettes. I'm very against cigarettes, and I cannot stand someone smoking next to me a cigarette and everything coming in my face. Maybe it's the same for cigars for lots of people who doesn't smoke, and I'm happy to smoke my cigars on a separate place where I'm able to do it. But they need to be they need to allow people to have spaces like that. And open public places like, for example, parks, beaches. I don't think they should ban anything like that. This is ridiculous. I mean, I cannot sit on the beach and smoke a cigar. Why? I mean, this beach is usually big, long, somewhere. Even if it's a small beach, it's still open space. I can sit in my corner and I can smoke a cigar. Same in the parks. It's a park. It's lots of trees, lots of other stuff, and to not be able to smoke a cigar, this is a little bit too pathetic. But European Union is again. There's a lots of people in different countries in the European Union who doesn't think clearly. Even if we try to prove and tell them that they're gonna lose a lot of money from taxes, not only in UK. I mean, every country there's a quite high taxation in lots of countries, not only UK. UK is one of the toughest, but Scandinavia is quite tough on taxation. Um, I know more and more countries try to raise the taxes on the cigars, so sooner or later they will do it, and not be able to collect more money from taxes. It's nonsense. But I can guarantee that if they continue banning stuff soon, next step, what will be the next steps? Some of those are already probably approaching UK. Plain packaging everywhere. I mean, every European Union country will do plain packaging in the next 2 to 3 years, in my opinion, maybe five. There will be some which will push back. And again, those regulations from the European Union is just recommended regulations, so they're not law. They're recommended regulations where they will recommend all the members to do it. Um, I don't think all those regulations will be followed, especially in Eastern Europe. Countries like Bulgaria, Romania, Greece, those are part of the European Union, and I don't see those countries following all those rules. It's a little bit wild west there, wild east, and there's still places where you can absolutely go inside and smoke indoor. So they haven't managed to regulate this for like a decade. Imagine what will be even tougher and stricter rules. But Western Europe, where I'm living, and probably a bunch of the listeners and watching and the people who watch, will be tougher and tougher. Netherlands being hit hardly. So Netherlands was hit hardly, as I mentioned. Scandinavia already very tough to smoke. I know in Norway, for example, I don't think you can. You can. I don't think you can smoke anywhere indoors in the lounges or stuff unless you're a private member. They have few lounges, but you need to be a member of the lounge to be able to smoke in there, which is another solution of the problem. If the government allow people to smoke in the lounge, okay, create a membership. Membership can be very, just a random fee, like a few dollars, few pounds, few euro. Just to have the idea of the membership. Of course, there will be some more exclusive, which you need to pay significantly more. But a good example, if you want, guys, I was traveling to Mexico last year. And Mexico is probably the strictest and the toughest country of the cigar smoking or any smoking at the moment, especially in the South and Central and North America. They're not allowed to smoke outdoor, and pretty much like Netherlands, almost not allowed to smoke almost anywhere. No lounges. Well, they have lounges. They have get away with the lounges, but it's super strict. So anyway, I was traveling to Mexico City, so I landed on the airport. I got lots of hours to spend on the airport because my flight was changed, whatever. And I was thinking, okay, shall I go somewhere to smoke? Mexico City, nearest lounge was probably about an hour away from the airport. I was like, I don't want to travel an hour away in the desert. It was so hot. So I started looking on the lounges on the airport. All the lounges they have, none of those were smoking lounge. And I found a very small place where I've seen people smoking inside. And I just got there and asked how I can smoke there. And they say, oh, it's a private club. I was like, okay, what will cost me to become a member? And they said, well, it's $15 for 24 hours. And that's it. No questions asked. I don't even need to. I think I put my email and name when I enter and pay the fee, and you can stay 24 hours. And you can literally, I stay for like 15 hours in that one. And there's no problem. They give you compliments, water, anything. You don't need to, they don't sell cigars. It's only to smoke inside, mostly cigarette smokers, but there was a couple people like myself who smoke cigars. Yeah, nice purification, really nice, clear, fresh air condition, and outside in from that place was so hot because the airport is in the desert and it was so ridiculously hot. But someone very clever create this type of lounge, smoking place, $15, 24 hours, sublime. Okay, so I think Rubio asked a few stuff. He asked most of the brands are made by AJ Fernandez. If you're talking about Luciano, I don't think any of the Lucianos are made by AJ Fernandez. I know he has his own factory. He made his cigars at his factory. He used to make some of the crown heads in his factory. He made a couple other brands in his factory, but I don't remember any Luciano to be made by AJ Fernandez. Keep puffing this cigar, guys, and it's really good cigar. It's not strong at all. This is probably one of the mildest Connecticut broadleaf cigar. Lots of saltiness, lots of earth, minerals. Yeah, really nice blend. Okay, now we get clarification. The thing I discussed about the Cuban names. AJ Fernandez does not own any of those brands. He made few of them, but does not own any. So as far as I remember, two companies own all those brands. So they, Altadis and General Tobacco, they own all the brands except Fonseca. Fonseca is owned now by my father, and I think everything else is owned by those two companies. Obviously, Altadis, they collaborate with AJ Fernandez for some of them. He made some of the Ramon Iones, some of the Monte Cristo, not all the Monte Cristo. So there's a bunch of Monte Cristo which are made in DR, most of the simple blends. The fancy ones and the good ones actually are made by AJ Fernandez. H. Upman, most of them are not made by AJ. I think he have a couple made in his factory, the one with the blue and yellow band. But other like the Banker, they're made in DR. Partagas, I don't remember Partagas being made by AJ Fernandez. I think all the Partagas are made by in DR and Honduras. Ramon Iones, as I mentioned, I smoked one last week on the show. I smoked Ramon Iones made by AJ Fernandez. He make the best one. I know there's a few others which are not that good. Trinidad, he made the new Trinidads. I know there's an old bunch of Trinidads which wasn't made in AJ Fernandez. He made the new one. Cuiba, I don't think Cuiba is made by AJ Fernandez. the general behind them. They do lots of collaboration with the spirits now, and they're expensive. They majority of them are made in DR. Yeah, Trinidad Espiritu. That was the one from AJ. Um, what else? Henry Clay. I mentioned Henry Clay last time. Henry Clay is made in. I don't think it's made by AJ. There was one made by Tatuaje. The other ones are made from different people. Mm, what else? La Gloria Cubana. La Gloria Cubana. Actually, I don't know if you know the story behind La Gloria Cubana. That was originally made by Carrillo when he was working for those companies before he created his own company. Him and Benji Menendez are the people behind the original La Gloria Cubana, obviously not Cuban one. That was one of the popular ones back in the time. Hoyo de Monterrey, few of them are made by AJ Fernandez, not all of them. Majority AJ Fernandez. Yeah, correct. In Europe, because you cannot use the name Coiba, they use the name Silencio. Silencio, red dot, white dot, black dot, blue. Yeah, I mean those are the main brands. I'm trying to think. Do I miss some? There's a few Cuban brands which don't have equivalent yet. Cuaba. I don't think there's a Cuaba which is not made by Cuba. Paul Laranaga. Actually, there's a Paul Laranaga made in DR. Okay, my bad. I haven't seen one recently, but I know back in the time they used to do Paul Laranaga as well. Rafael Gonzalez, only Cuba. Vigueros, only Cuba. So the Juan Lopez, only Cuba. Diplomaticus, only Cuba. Punch, both sides. Punch half from each one. Punch AJ Fernandez, I don't think I remember Punch AJ Fernandez, so most likely all the Punch DR in Honduras. They have some very strong Honduran ones, very dark and black ones. But yeah, that's a little bit of the side talk about this discussion. And then we move into another interesting news. This time will be a release. I cannot miss a show without talking about some release. And this is a super, super interesting release for me. What I'm talking about is Plasencia, Year of the Snake. Last time we talked about Davidoff, Year of the Snake, and usually around this time all the companies start releasing Year of the Snake. This time Plasencia do something which they haven't done before. I saw the pictures of this one. I haven't seen the cigars for real. I'm expecting delivery maybe January. I'm gonna have some box of those ones, and I'm really looking forward to that one. So they create a box with Lanceros, 7x40. Year of the Snake. I don't know if the blend is the same as the last year, because last year Tiger and Dragon, the last 2 years, was exactly the same blend, just different size. So year of the Tiger was long Pyramides, long Torpedo. Year of the Dragon was Toro, I think longer Toro, maybe 7.5 inches. So Plasencia now obviously follow the trend with the Snake. Lots of people who release in Year of the Snake do slim and long cigars. And Plasencia releasing Lancero, 7x40. The interesting thing here is in the box you're gonna have a Culebra, 2 twisted cigars. So the Culebra is usually 3 cigars twisted like a plat. This time there will be dual Culebra. It's not the first brand who do dual Culebra. I remember Caldwell have Culebra like that, Diesel have Culebra like that, and now Plasencia have dual Culebra. Apparently 2 different blends, but I don't think this is clear yet. There's just random informations from the net. So all the cigars as usual, what Plasencia do, using their own tobacco. They do not buy tobacco. All of those will be only Nicaraguan tobacco, no Honduran there. MSRP, the official information was set to $490. which means $49 for a cigar. 6,000 boxes, 3,000 boxes go to the US, 3,000 boxes go to the international market. I think the price is high, especially for a Lancero. Even if last 2 years, last two releases from them regarding the Chinese Zodiac, the Tiger and the Dragon, was a similar price. They were significantly bigger cigars. I mean, 7 and something by 50, 52, that kind of sizes. Now we're talking 7 by 40, which is super slim cigar. Expensive. So Plasencia jumped into the bandwagon following Davidoff with the fancy prices. I mean, the Davidoff Lancero mentioned last time will be 60 odd dollars. The Plasencia, okay, it's not 60, but it's 50. 49, okay, if we want to clear. At least they did something interesting. I've seen last time when I talk about the Davidoff, there was a bunch of people text me and we discuss it. Davidoff actually maybe create a little bit boring cigar this year for the Year of the Snake, because last few years they always have some ideas. You know, Year of the Dragon was with big shaggy foot to represent the dragon breath. Before that, Year of the Tiger. I mean, this is unique cigar, and still I don't think anyone have anything closer to replicate with that colored wrapper, naturally colored wrapper. And this Year of the Snake is just Lancero. For some people that's boring. Now they expect something different. But what else you can do to create snake? Maybe a longer. I mean, we probably most of the people on the call heard about the MJ23 cigar, Michael Jordan Cuban cigar made for him, which is like 11-inch Lancero. So maybe if Davidoff was creating something like that, 9-inch Lancero or maybe 10-inch, something super long and slim, that would be a very fun, interesting to smoke. Yeah, Tiger is a not bad cigar. For me, it was expensive for what is it. It's a short cigar, relatively short cigar, but looks like all that trend with the crazy releases from different companies. Looks like all they will be expensive. I spoke with Nestor Plasencia last time I saw him, and I asked him about Lanceros, and he just smiled. I didn't thinking that they actually already created Lancero, but I mentioned something interesting. I would be very curious to see if he create Culebra, Lancero Culebra, using Alma Fuerte, Alma Fuego, and Alma del Campo. I know they have Alma del Campo Lancero already, but it will be super interesting if they create the Alma series in a Culebra. They have even the other Alma Fuerte, the Colorado Claro, so they can use that one instead of the darker one. I mean, it's up to them, but that would be such an interesting project. Having Culebra, 3 different Lanceros from the 3 core lines. That would be a very fun project. I would definitely, probably, unless they charge crazy money, I would try to buy some of those if they have something like that. But yeah, PDR releasing Lancero. What do you think about PDR? Okay, so PDR, I like Abe. Abe Flores is the guy behind PDR. He's a character, he's a musician, he's a very fun person to talk about. But most of his cigars, I'm a little bit disappointed. I haven't smoked PDR in years. Before that, I was smoking some of them, and I have a lack of construction there. They have very flaky cigars, never keep an ash. Burn was a little bit issue. Not very complex blend. They're not expensive cigars. I don't think PDR do any fancy expensive, but I wasn't a massive fan of them, to be honest. And he makes lots of cigars for other people. I don't think I have cigar made by PDR, which I enjoy a lot. I know he made majority of the Gurkha cigars. He made quite a lot of the Hiraman Salomon, the Masonic cigars. He make other cigars for other people, but yeah, never been overly impressed by PDR. Like wow, this is a cigar I need to have some. I need to keep. I need to stash. It's my opinion again. They are quite popular. They sell quite a lot in UK. They recently changed distribution in UK. They used to be with one of the biggest importer store. Now they switch off to the next biggest one, which is Brightleaf. Um, Abe Flores was actually in the country 2 weeks ago. I miss him to meet him. It was an opportunity to meet him, but I was so busy with some other stuff and I didn't have the time to go and see him. He was actually very close to my shop, but yeah, I'll see him probably in Dortmund next year. But overall, they're not my type of cigars. Again, if there's something new, as Rubio mentioned, there's the Lancero is a limited. The Lancero, uh, the limited one is good. Yeah, definitely wants to try it, but would I chase it? Probably no. Yeah, I think he was doing tour in Europe. That's why probably he was in Netherlands as well. But yeah, so I think those were the interesting news so far from this week. There will be a bunch of interesting shows coming in the next couple of weeks. Next week, the Cigar Aficionado will start releasing their top 25. Monday will be the first day they're gonna release few cigars. I'm not gonna talk about them on the next week show. I'm gonna leave that for week after, where we're gonna discuss all the top 25s from the Cigar Aficionado. Then will be more shows for the top 25s. There will be a Cigar Journal, the Half-Full Consensus. That will be a really interesting one. Usually I talk a lot about the consensus. I'm a huge fan of that idea. But yeah, that will be probably in January. Um, January, someone mentioned, Rubio mentioned Matilde, the guy from Matilde is coming. Matilde is an interesting brand. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the guy who created Matilde passed away, but his son is now in charge. So he's a good character. I met him in Dortmund very briefly, first time, but oh yeah, camping cigar. I'm the one of the biggest critics on those top 25s. I always have what to say. I will explain every single cigar in those rankings, which I think are interesting, and I will discuss with you. Do I think is okay, not okay? Of course, before the next show, some people ask me what I think will be top 25 Cigar Aficionado number one. I think, um, let's see if I'm gonna guess. So this is a week before the official start of the top 25. Let me know what you're thinking, guys, in the comments. Come on, in the next few minutes, post your what do you think, not personally what is for you the best cigar for you, but what do you think Cigar Aficionado will put as number one? Because I believe for me this year will be Tatuaje. Um, of course, I want Tatuaje to be. I'm a big fan of Tatuaje. You know me. I'm smoking Tatuaje now. I want them to be number one, but I think this year Tatuaje will be number one. Um, I have some clues why might be. Tatuaje is actually one of the brands I think which not one on the only brand which missed only 1 year to be in top 25 since that exists in Cigar Aficionado since 1994. So what was that? 30 years. They miss only 1 year. Every other year they are in top 25. They were in top 10 bunch of times. I think the highest Tatuaje was in top 5. But I think this year, in my opinion, will be Tatuaje. Which cigar? I want to say the 20th anniversary, but I wasn't impressed from the 20th anniversary. So I reckon it might be Reserva, it might be RC, some of the RC series, which is really good actually. But I don't want to put cigar, but I think Tatuaje as a number one. Um, but we'll see. That's my prediction. None of you post anything, so come on, throw something. Let's see if anyone gets a brand. Um, we all know the usual suspects: Fuente, Padron, Cuba, maybe Perdomo. Possibly, Perdomo is a good candidate with the 30th anniversary. Lots of good ratings on this cigar. I still hasn't smoked it myself. Lots of good reviews, lots of interesting talks. Um, Dumbarton, I know they not include Dumbarton in top 25. Um, they have some bad stuff with Steve Saka. He asked them to not include his cigars in the reviews. I don't think they will include them, but who knows? They might change their opinion and they might add some of the Dumbartons. And Dumbarton is probably the highest ranking brand in the last few years in all the different competitions, all the different magazines and shows. He won Halfu a few times. He was highly scored in most of the other bloggers and people. And he released lots of cigars this year as well. We'll see. So yeah, guys, I have another hour to enjoy myself with this beautiful tatuaje. Thank you very much for everyone who shared last hour with me. You all been great. You all send the comments, especially a few of you. In the meantime, I'll be here next week. Hopefully, we're gonna talk more about the news, what's coming, what's interesting. Apologies again, not adding any other content. I'm literally super busy, guys. I have no 10 minutes free so I can film or start filming. I'm hoping this week I might put some separate spare some time and create something, but I don't want to promise because it's a hectic. December is one of the busiest months for me. And yeah, a little bit on the side, but the live have no plans for next Monday. Most likely I'll be here, share some news and thoughts, and talk about some interesting stuff. In the meantime, if you wanna ask anything, you know where to find me here in the channel, all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. Shoot me a message. I'm usually replying fairly quickly. I'm happy to discuss any questions you have, any thoughts, and yeah, let me know. And yeah, don't forget to smoke your cigars because tomorrow is never given. And yeah, we don't know what's happening tomorrow. Smoke your cigars, guys. And thank you very much. I'll see you next week.